Rory, thank you for joining us today.
That's no trouble, Mark.
I'm so glad to have you here. Kids, we are going to go deep down the rabbit hole today. I'm going to try and keep this to a reasonable amount of time. When I say reasonable, I'm going to try and get this done in like 90 minutes. I will not go more than 2 hours on this. There's a lot here that we're going to try and dive into, and I'm not even confident that we'll actually get anything working by the end of the day, but we'll do our best. This session is inspired by Tom Allard. He put a tweet out a few days ago saying he really wants to be able to convert an object initializer to a constructor, or create a constructor based on an object initializer. And we'll dive right in there and we'll show you what we're talking about. I have an application over here called Object Initializer Test, and I have a simple class here called Box. It's got a constructor, and down here I've got a call to Box Factory. And I have over on the left, I've got the expressions lab up, which we've talked about in other sessions. If you want the expressions lab, by the way, you can search for expressions lab and maybe add DX core to that and you can see it. Over here I've got inside Box Factory, I have two lines of code to initialize box and box one. Those two lines of code are both here. And if we open them up, we see the first one uses an object initializer. And if we actually just put the caret right there, you can see it'll highlight there. If we click on it, you can see that it is an object creation expression. And if we open that up inside of there, we have this unnamed piece, but it's an object initializer expression. So that's this piece right here. So it doesn't have a name. Now, remember when I told you in previous sessions, I would say that box, or I'm sorry, that the text here, if it's blue, that means it's a detailed node. If it's black, it is not a detailed node. This has no text, but there is a property called isDetailNode, and you can see that it is in fact true. So there's the object initializer expression. It is the child of the object creation expression, so you have that out there. And then down here, if we click on this one, we also have an object creation expression. So both of these are object creation expressions. However, there's a slight difference between the two. If we open this up, this one, in fact, we can come right up here. It's got an arguments parameter. We click on that, we can see that there are 3 arguments passed into it, and all 3 are primitive expressions. 1, 2, 3. Those are the arguments. This has no arguments passed into it at all. So if we come up here and we look at its arguments, and we go in there, there's nothing for that. But it does have this object initializer expression. Okay. One other thing is if we go into this and we scroll down alphabetically and we look for in the O's, there you can see there's object initializer is right there. So nothing is here because the name is empty, but there is actually a value assigned to that if it uses an object creation expression. So there's going to be an object, if it uses an object initializers inside of it. So we'll look for that property being not null, and then we want to turn it into this. The other thing that we need to do too is we need to actually go into the class. We need to check a couple things. One is we need to make sure that the class, we actually have source code to the class inside of our project. Because if it's a reference class, we don't have source code to it, so we can't make any changes, because here's where we need to make the change. The other thing we need to do is when we add the initializer, we need to make changes to that code. That code may not be in the same file that we're in. So we're actually going to be showing you how to create a refactoring in a code provider that make changes both here and potentially in another file. So making multi-file changes. We'll show how to do that. Yeah, as if it's not getting deep enough. Yeah, let's see, what else do we need to do? Oh, we need to look at we need to find to see if there are any existing constructors that match this signature. Holy crap. So we will be like, did I just say that? We're not even like 10 minutes in, and it's already getting like intense. So this is like a great example, and if I can get all of these covered and we can actually generate code, Rory, I'm going to be very happy. Okay?
This will be cool, yeah.
That's my criteria for success. So I'm just going to drag this off to the left. I've got another instance of Visual Studio open up here with nothing going on. Notice I've got some of these I've been prepping with some different tests out here. Let's go ahead and we'll go say DevExpress new plugin. We'll get started here. So this one we're going to call CR underscore object initializer to constructor. Hit enter, click OK. And let's go over into our toolbox. We want to go into DX Core, and actually this one I think is going to have the refactoring provider is in here, and it has a code provider that is one of those. Let's drop that on. I'm not seeing refactoring provider on here, so if you don't see that, we're going to go and we'll right-click and say choose items, and we'll bring it in and add it onto there. So we have the refactoring provider. So I'm actually going to, Rory, I'm going to add both a code provider and a refactoring provider. The refactoring is going to be available if the constructor is already there. Okay, inside, for example, we just looked at in Box, right? Let me drag this over so we can see this while Visual Studio is getting that up. If the constructor is already there, right, I'll just be able to, I'll hit the key, and we'll have a refactoring that says use constructor instead. Okay, or it'll probably say convert. It'll say convert. But if it's not there, we'll create a code provider that'll be available that'll say create it. And you know, I'm kind of wincing a little bit as I say this because the code providers kind of aren't guaranteed to keep code necessarily running the same way. They generally declare things, and that's kind of why I'm putting it there. But technically, the code is going to run just the same way. It's just going to look a little different. So, so you know, I'm kind of wincing a bit, but for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to allow it. So Visual Studio is still looking through all the those pieces out there. So this is a new install on my machine here.
So Mark, just quickly on that last point you made there. Interestingly, if you use a constructor that's already in place, that constructor might do more than initialize just the items that you're passing it. So technically, that could be the code provider, and the other one could be the refactoring.
Oh my God! Why? You know, I appreciate your intelligence, but why, Rory? It's already hard enough what we're doing. Okay, so yeah.
We still have two purposes, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so we will show. I'll show how to actually drill in and see if it does more than initialize, but I won't write the code. How about that? How about if we get that close? All right, so I'm going to sort by name. I'm going to go down and find the refactoring provider in here. Hold on, I feel like it's just there. It is right there. Refactoring provider. Okay. Click OK. And then we'll drop one of the refactoring providers on as well. So there's a refactoring provider. Okay, so we have both of those. Let's start giving them good names. So the refactoring provider is going to be, let's see here. Let's say, so the provider name, and we're going to say this, convert initializer to constructor. Call. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to call it. I might just change it to call constructor or something like that, but we'll do this for now. Description. This is what shows up in the big hint, so we want to add something here.
Mute yourself, Mark.
I'm sorry?
Possibly.
You think can you hear me? You cannot hear me? Rory, can anybody else hear me?
I can hear you, Mark.
Cool. Am I the only one?
Amanda can hear me.
Suffering.
Yes, I can still hear everyone.
Okay, great. Can you type in a message to Rory telling him that you can hear me and maybe it's his sound on his side?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Converts an object initializer to construction code. Let's do this. Converts object initializer construction code to a simple constructor call, like that. So we have here. Oh, this is what code issue message is. So we'll just. This is what message shows up when the code issue comes up. That's if there's that's. I'm sorry, when the action hint comes up, that big arrow. So what we can do. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, it is not. Absolutely, it is actually not. This is for hooking up to connecting this content provider to a particular code issue. Sorry, I misread and misthought when I looked at that. So this is what I was thinking of, the action hint text. This is what displays. So we'll just say call constructor, so we keep it simple, because it just shows up in the arrow. And let's give this a good name, ref convert to constructor call. Okay, and I think we have the important pieces here. Okay, good. Let's go over to the code provider. We're going to do similar things in the code provider. I'm probably going to copy and paste some pieces over here. So the provider name here is going to be add create constructor call. And create and convert initializer. Let's convert initializer to constructor call. Okay, so we'll do that. Code provider, and then we're going to say this create constructor call. I'll give this a good meaningful name. So there's our display name. Our description is going to be creates a constructor call and matching the object initializer arguments and calls it. Okay, this could technically be a refactoring, and as Roy mentioned, there could be side effect code inside the existing constructor, so we'd have to really check for that. And I just know we're not going to have time to add that code to check for it, so we'll have to add that at a later time. Okay, and these are the two pieces that we have. The other thing I want to do is I want to use the target picker. We haven't really talked about that yet, and oh, do I have it up here? It looks like it's not here. Shoot, I should have added that one as well. Let's go in there and we'll choose items again, and as we do that, we will, oh good, it didn't take so long. So we'll use the target picker. The target picker is that red arrow that goes up and down that allows us to select, see, where did it put it? Target picker, there it is, selected right there. It allows us to determine where we're going to place something. So I want to be able to allow people to decide where the constructor is going to go. So I'll just call it target picker 1. This is a code preview we can set later on to show what that code will be inserted as we move it up or down. I'm not sure if there's anything else that we need to set up on this side. I'm going to just go over here though, and we need to know when the target has been selected. So we're going to double click on that. We have target selected event handler. Let's come over here. We need check availability for that. We need apply for that one. And we need for this, we need check availability, and we need apply as well. And I think I'm also going to just throw in prepare preview so we can show preview hints for these as well if we get time to do this. All right, okay, so there we go. So I've got those events. Now, one of the things I was talking about is making changes through multiple files. And let's just look at this a little bit. CodeRush.file, we have a method in here called apply changes, which allows us to apply changes to multiple files. And one of the parameters that this needs is a file change collection. So I'm just going to call this changes for right here. Let's go in and let's have CodeRush declare some stuff for us here. Let's declare this as a field. There it is right there. Let me rename this. I'm going to get this in the format that I'm comfortable with. So there's changes right there. And what else is needed inside of here? There's some other options here in terms of formatting and undo. So we need to have this set up here, and I guess we'll go ahead and keep this null for now, but we'll create it later on. The other thing that we need to do that makes sense when we're creating refactorings and also code providers, they both are very, very similar. They have similar properties. It really is the only difference is what menu item is it going to be on. That's really the only difference between the two. But often what happens when you're building a refactoring is inside your check availability. This is where you create some code to see, are we available? Okay, and then later on when you apply, often the code from here is code that you want to use in your apply. The other reason for that is you often also want to use that code that you figure out inside check availability in your prepare preview. So check availability goes, essentially the pseudocode for check availability goes like this. Step 1, very quickly determine are we available or not. Step 2, cache some information that we can use in our preview later on in case the menu item is actually selected, and then later in our apply as well, just so that we're very efficient. So we need to cache some details here. And one of the things I want to cache is I want to cache a source range which is going to be the range that we're going to delete. That's useful in the prepare preview call. So I don't have to calculate that again. Although I could really, actually I could calculate that again. That's not that, it doesn't take that long to calculate that. That's already, it's not really a calculation. So, but it's something that that you can play with. If you are dealing with performance issues, you can definitely cache. And I tend to do this. I tend to cache here. So source range is one of the things that we want to cache. The other thing I want to cache is the new call, the new constructor call. So I'm thinking something like this inside of check availability. We're going to say our new call here, it's going to be a string. Let me go in here and I'll widen scope, promote to field, like this. And what else do I want to do in here? I want to get the new constructor call, and then the source range. So in fact, let's just go up here and I'll just declare that right up there at the top here, new call. So we'll come in here and this is going to be the range, and this is of type source range, like that. And this is going to be we'll call this the delete range. Okay, so I've got 3 fields. I've got a bunch of methods, and I think I'm about ready to say run. That's what I think I'm about ready to say. Before I do it, though, let's actually look at a couple things, because we were talking about an object creation expression. I'm just writing some code here that I'm just because I want to look at IntelliSense and see what we've got. So we've got object creation expression in here, right? That's equivalent to, hold on, let's bring back over this. So this is the other instance of it. So object creation expression, right? That's the piece that goes like from here to there. It's the piece that creates the object, okay? So we need to build a new one of those, and we need to drill through it and parse through it to see if it has an initializer. So I guess let's do this. Maybe we'll do this in a couple pieces, but I guess part of what I'm thinking, Rory, is I'm thinking I might want to build a couple method stubs here, because when I'm doing edit and continue, I can't create any new methods. And okay. Just for organization sake, if I can get a preview of the methods I'm going to need to get.
Sure.
But let's look at what this takes inside of it. So an object creation expression, there's 2 different parameters for it. One that takes the type of the object I want to create, and this will be like box, right? For example, in that code we just showed right there, right? The other one is a collection of arguments. So that collection of arguments would be for if I wanted to build this bit of code here. So I'm going to need a collection of arguments to work with. The other thing is this piece right here is interesting here, right? This is, let's drill into this so we can see this, right? We're inside of a new box, and here we're inside of the object initializer expression. And inside here, there's a property called initializers. And that's a collection. And notice it has height, width, and these are of types member initializer expression, each one of these pieces right here. I'm going to give you an overview of these in a second, I think. What's the type on this thing? Does it say what the type is? It doesn't say here what the type of initializers is. Let's look at that. So this is for a piece that already exists that we're detecting, right? So we're saying, so we're first on object creation expression. Then we're going to say, we're going to go to its object initializer property and see if that's not null. And then if that's not null, we get to here. And then from there, we're going to go to its initializers property. And then we're going to go through those pieces. And each of those pieces, we'll look at those. You know what? Let's just run it, Rory, and see what we get.
It's easy to see when we get the example running in front of us. It's just as you regularly say, gives you the extra level of information, not just IntelliSense, but the live data that you're actually working with.
I was hoping that I could get a little, you know, I have a preview in how complex this is getting, because of the work I was doing before this. So I'm trying to stave off some of that complexity in advance, because I don't want to have giant methods as we're doing this. But let's open up Object Initializer Test. Let's go back into our other our running application, and let's set some breakpoints here. So let's do a check availability on just here. We'll just set there on create constructor. So I just hit the CodeRush refactor key. Now CodeRush is coming over to our refactoring. This is our code provider actually, and asking us, are we available? So one of the things that we're going to need here actually, now that I'm here, I now immediately have just thought of, I've just now ironically thought of a method that would be useful for both, and that is, are we available? Like, give me a sense of what the availability is, right, for this. So we'll go ahead and write a little bit of code here though. So in our event args that are coming in, here, let me do this so you can see the whole thing. So there's our event args coming in. We have the element. This is the active element right here. Okay, so let's just see what our active element is. Let's look at locals, EA active element, or let's do this instead. Let's go in here. Can I do a control KQ? Is that it? No, it doesn't like that when I'm doing that. I need to make some legal code here. Let's do this. Declare local. This is the active element, and then we'll do that. If it's null, get out of there. Let's do this. There we go. And I've had this new problem here, which is driving me crazy. You saw this last time, where I'm not able to hover over and see things when I'm debugging, and I'm not sure what's causing this. But anyway, I have a new element here, and this is of type. There we go. Object creation expression.
Yep.
Okay. So we can do this as object creation expression like this. Let's do this instead. Declare local. Like that. And we can do something like this. Let's at least get to this point. If we say, if we're here, let's just cheat a bit and let's just say available is equal to true. Okay. And so let's just work with this for a minute. Okay. And just see what we get. So now I'm running again. Let's go back over to the test. So now when we hit the key, how come I'm not seeing it? I see it here.
Okay, so that's because new box is an object creation expression. Box is just a type reference expression.
So Rory is pointing something out that's valuable to us. Let's take a look at what he's talking about here. Let's bring up the expressions lab, and we'll take a look at that. So box, we're on a type reference. We're on the keyword new, we're on an object creation expression. So notice we're inside it. What we need to do if we're here is we need to go up the parent until we find something that matches what we want. Okay? So let's change that code. All right? So let's do that. So we come down here, and what do we have here? Let's drag it down to the watch so you can see it here. It's correct. What we want to do is set a breakpoint here. But when it's null, then we want to do something different. Let's just run it again. All right, let's put the caret here. And whoops, that was me over here. All right, so now we're at the breakpoint. And so it's null. So what I want to do now is I want to say, maybe there's something in source. CodeRush.source dot get parent.
There might even be a parent. Sorry, if object is null. Oh, I see.
Hold on. This is what I want. So it's on element itself. Get parent. And one of the parameters takes a language element type. Okay. And now the language element type has all the different types of language elements that are out there. This is actually a really fascinating enum to look at, because this is essentially the combination of every language element we know about. Everything from C++, including things, I'm not sure, yeah, I can't say that. So C++, VB, C#, ASP.NET, XAML, CSS files, everything is in here. Okay, so everything condenses down to this. So we want to find an object creation expression. And then we want to, let's do this. Let's do one more thing. Let's do this as here, and now let's declare local there. Well, actually, we can just come back and use the one that we have before. And then we want to say if it's null, then we want to get out. Okay.
Yep.
So now let's put the caret here. Set next statement. Run it. And now what we should get is there. You can see down there. It's now new box. Before it was null because we weren't on one, but now it went outside and got it.
Yep.
Okay, which means now anywhere, if we just run it, no breakpoints now, anywhere inside that object creation piece, we've now got it available. Create and convert initializer to constructor call. It's there, which is nice. Having that wider availability is good. It's available there. It's available here. It's available here.
The nice piece is you haven't had to check explicitly every level of that hierarchy. You basically said go up the tree until you either find the object creation expression or you find nothing. You hit
and it's not available here.
Yeah.
Okay. So step one is not that. Okay. So it's simple. Right now, all we're really checking is the only check we're really doing is are we actually in an object initializer expression. Okay. The next thing that we have to do is we actually have to go out, now that we have the object creation expression that we're there. Well, actually, no, that's not entirely true. All we're really checking is to see, are we on an object creation expression? See, it's even available here. Okay?
Sure.
So we need to now check the next step is we need to see if we have an object, instead of breakpoint right here. Let's come back. Okay, there we go. So now what we're going to do is this, is we're going to say, whoops. If object creation expression dot object initializer is not null, then we're going to set availability equal to true. Okay, so now this is only going to be available if we have an object initializer. Let's run it again and just check that. So now it should not be available here, but it should be available here. Okay,
cool.
Everybody with me so far?
Yeah.
It feels exciting, doesn't it? Holy cow, we've
good.
really gone 30 minutes and we're only this far. Oh, man. All right, so we gotta crank it up a bit. All right, so next what we have to do is we now have to check what happens if I'm in an object initializer for a class that's already referenced. Okay, so let's do something like that. Let's see. Whoops, I don't use the breakpoint here. Let's just write some code. So new. What do I have out here? What can you give me? Activator. Let's do that. New activator. And let's put a local, and what is it not liking about activator? What does it mean? I'm not getting any tooltip here either. It looks like my tooltips, even for my hands, are gone. Ugh. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Tell me what you need. There's no constructors defined. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's not use activator. Let's use something else. And maybe that may be a. Let's try AppDomain. See if we have any better luck with AppDomain. All right. It's not liking, but still we can come in and let's say activation context is equal to null like this. Okay. Yeah, nothing here. No tips here either. So something is shut down. I'm not sure what it is. And this doesn't like this either because it's a read only. Gets. I need something that says gets or sets. Come on. Base directory. Help me out, guys. Domain manager. This one's. These cannot all be read by properties, read only properties. Oh man. Okay, guys, I super apologize for this. This is unexpected slowdown here. What else do I have here that I can do? Let's see what. Dare I try buffer? Just want to see what else is.
What about something similar, memory stream or something? System I/O.
I'll take it. Does that work? That looks like it's happy. Whoa, look at this. And I've got it here, but I wasn't having it at the other place. So interesting. All right, so we've got memory stream. Come in here, set a property on it. Thank you, Rory, for your help. This is why you're here. Can say these look like they're all getters. Capacity, there we go. Capacity equals 2,000, like that. All right, come up here. Where's my convert to initializer? Convert to initializer, now I got my convert to initializer code. CodeRush is telling me that I should call display, I should introduce a using statement on it. Let's just do this, simplify it so we see it all on screen. I'm going to drop this down for a minute so we look at this full screen. So now we got this piece. So here it's available, but we don't have source code to it. Here it's also available, and we do have source code to it. So we now need to do the take it to the next step. We need to find out, are we, what's going on with that? So let's do this. Let's change this to if it equals, oops, to the breakpoint here. All right, so we're there. All right, so let's change this to the opposite. So now it's, if we're no, we're going to get out. And then down here we need to do a little bit more work. We need to say object creation expression dot. Inside here it's got something called object type. Now we're going to learn about one of the ways that you can resolve types. Now this is kind of a low-level way of doing this, and so but here's the deal. So we're going into object type, right? And this is the type of the object that we are creating inside here. So this is going to be box or memory stream or whatever. It is a type reference expression. Notice that shows up right here. It's a type reference expression. Once you get to a type reference expression, you have a method called resolve. And resolve is asking for a source tree resolver. And you can get it from something called parser services dot source tree resolver. And that will get you an iType. Well, you want to typecast it actually as an iType element because we're expecting it to be that. Okay. So this is going to give us the type element for it. And once we get to this, and we'll just do the same thing here. If it's null, then we get out. But if otherwise, we're going to say availability is equal to type element dot, and then we want to say, what is it, in reference assembly, not in a reference assembly. That means we're in source code. To make that easier to see, I'll do this. Introduce a local called in source code, like that, just so it's a little clearer. Okay, so let's look at this. So we're going to come down here. We're going to hit F10. And now we have a type element. Let's see what we've got. Let's drop it down into our watch. And let's see if we have any interesting, let's just do this. Let's just do type element.name. See what the name is, memory stream. So now, and then let's also grab this and bring it down to the watch as well so we can see that. Are we in a reference assembly or not? And we are. So we come down here in source code, which means in source code is going to be false. So we're not available. Okay. So now when we're here and we hit the key, only one refactoring is available. Not whereas before we had multiples. And so I've got an option that says if one refactoring is available, just jump into it. So I can also just hover the mouse over that triple dot, and you can see that only decompose initializer is available here. However, if we come down to box, we should now see that it is in fact available. Okay?
Excellent.
Good. Feeling good so far. Okay, except for now we have height, width, depth, and depth. And here, interestingly enough, we have width, height, and depth. Not quite the same order. Height, width, depth. Let's make them so they match width, height, depth, height, width, depth. So let's do real parameters on this right here. Oops. Height, width, depth. Okay. So there's a box right there. Here we're passing in those pieces right there. I'm going to make these numbers match up too. They didn't match up before. So don't worry about that. It's not like you just saw a problem or anything like that with the refactoring. Okay, so height, width, and depth we're passing in. And so now we want to see if they match, if the signatures match. Okay, so that's the next thing because that's if the signatures already match, we don't need to create a new constructor. We simply need to call it. In which case the refactoring should be available. Okay. So let's go back to the code. Let's set a breakpoint here, and let's do this. Hold on, I'm not seeing it. There it is, right there. There's the caret. Okay. If not in source code, then we're out. We're going to return. Otherwise, we get down to here, and we are going to. Oh man, Rory, I just got like crazy hungry. Just then. Hold on, I got some cashews. I'm going to need some cashews, guys. Hold on a second. Roy, talk about how great CodeRush is for a second.
Well, there was just a question just a few seconds ago was about what happens if the source code that we have determined, or sorry, so the definition of the class we're referencing is in another project, still within the same solution. So we do have the source code. The answer to this is it's still technically not a referenced assembly. It is a referenced project. Therefore, it should still evaluate correctly as written before, and we should all be good with that.
Yep, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, there should be no difference, no problem there. All right, so let's see here. So we need to check to see if the signatures match. Is what we need to do. Now here's the thing. I've been telling you before about CodeRush.source. CodeRush.source has find options for finding types, finding members. By the way, type element I think also has find pieces on it too. Type element.find, find the references, find members, things like that. However, here's where we go deep into the rabbit hole. Parser services has a source tree resolver. Notice we used it right up here. Okay. Has a method called find, holy cow, constructors. In fact, look at all the find methods that are inside.
All the findy goodness.
Okay. Now, I had a little talk with our developers, and I said, kids, I think we need to take this and wrap this whole thing up in through CodeRush.source or maybe CodeRush.find or something like that. But for now, you want to get it through parser services.sourceTreeResolver.find constructors. That is the secret. Okay. And what do we need to pass in here? We need to pass in an element here that is going to be an implementer of iConstructor initializer element. So let's just look at. Let's go drill into this. Actually, not that. Let's go into, wait, hold on. Let's look at this again. There we go. That's the one we want. Where we pass in a type. So we have the type right up here. It's box or it's memory stream, whatever it's going to be, right? We're going to pass in type element here. And the next thing we need are the arguments that we're passing in. So we're trying to find a constructor that has these arguments to it. So it's an iExpression collection. So let's declare that as a local. Let's say that's equal to a new instance of something called expression collection. Whoops, right there. So these are the arguments. And what I want to do is I want to get all the arguments from the current object initializer. So the object initializer, so the object creation expression is here. Object initializer is here. We only use it in this location. Let's declare a new local for this. And we're going to call this the initializer. So the initializer, that's the piece that's in the brackets, right? In fact, we'll jump over to, wait, where is it? Do I have another instance of Visual Studio? I guess I don't have that one up that we're not already debugging. So we'll just keep initializer here. But the initializer, here, let's look at this right here. Initializer dot initializers is an expression collection. And I think we can just pass it in like that.
Very nice.
I think. If it fails, if we don't get anything back from this, then I'm going to build a new argument list and pass it in instead. So let's declare a little local on here. We'll call this found constructors. And let's see what happens on that. And if not null, then we're going to come down here. I want to do, let's step through the code and see what we get. So arguments I'm not using yet. So I may use it if I have to build something. Let's see what we get. Oh, debugger canvas. The last time this thing showed up, things did not go well when I closed it down. Why did this bring it up? Why did the debugger canvas come up? I am not going to close it down. I'm just going to come over here. So this is a new toy for Visual Studio here. Let's see if I can hit F10 again. Oh, it's forcing me over here. Really? Oh, so painful. Oh, yeah. All right. let's do this. Let's set a breakpoint here and run and see if we can get to at least this piece. All right, so let's just move over here. Okay, run again. All right, what do we have for constructors, constructors? Hey, we got something, I think, maybe. Let's see what the count is on it. Please be one. Wouldn't that be awesome? Ah, yes. Okay.
Efficiency scores.
So now we have, that was like, you know, Hail Mary, kind of like I was looking the other way and it went over the back of my head. All right, so and count is greater than 0, then in this case we're going to say, well, let's do this. Let's just say, let's create a new local for this, has matching constructors. And at this point, things are kind of going to be either one way or the other, right? We've got all of this code here that's simply just checking to see, are we in an initializer? In fact, what I almost want to do is I want to just create a variable here called like inside initializer to type with source. That's what I want to set. So that equals to false right here, and at the end of this, I want to no. Let's just do this. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to close down the that instance of Visual Studio. I'm going to create a new method that returns a Boolean inside initializer with type to source. Boom, boom. Drop a marker there. Get rid of that. No, not get rid of that. I'm going to say return true or set to true, like that. Then we'll come down here and we'll say if this. Then we'll come down here, grab all of this, put it there, and oh, it's passing too many arguments to it. I think that I want to do. Let me just do this. I need that piece as well. All right. All right. So it's going to pass in args. Let's just see what we get here. Put it in here. Yeah. So because of the return statements, we have this should return piece that's built in here as well, because that means exit the code. But we can simplify this a bit because we can add a call here that says that we can return automatically if it is type element source code. Oh shoot, we're using those other ones too as well. Why do we need type element? To find the constructors on it. Yeah, okay, all right. So the one thing we don't need really technically is the should return. Let's give this a good name like get availability details. And the only thing I want to change for readability standpoint is I want to get rid of should return. I don't want to pass that into it. So let me close this down so we can see more code. So this is coming in inside initializer to type at source. Let's at least take this and now make it a return result. Okay. And then our code here is going to be if not inside initializer with type of source, then return. And we can get rid of should return. I don't want it there either. Put a marker there because I need to read it after. I used to have the next reference to inside. Kill should return there. Kill it there. And we don't need should return here. Oh, look at that. I'm not sure what happened there, Rory. Can you mark the video time on that so that the devs can see this?
Sure.
That happened, I think, on the reorder parameters is what it happened, is when that happened. I took the out parameter and I bring it in to incorrect old return statement. Interesting. I'm not sure what was happening with this. So there may have been some, but definitely we want to look at review the video on that. Have the devs return the video because this comment looks like it was generated by us. There's some problem there apparently that may have existed before I did it. Okay. So now let's just inline this result. So we just are now returning false everywhere. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better about this code. All right, this we should be able to, oops, where'd it go? Continue returning the source code, and then come right in here, inline recent assembly. Okay, so now we have initializer is there. That's our out. In source code. Wow, is in source code used outside of this too? I forgot to delete that piece right there. In source code. Oh, because I have it here. I see. I don't need that anymore because we're just going to say available is equal to true. There. All right. Boom. Get rid of. Take this. Actually, move it down. And to get up there. Source code. Okay. And this we can get rid of here. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. So now the code is getting a little simpler. So I've got is inside initializer with type to source. So we have to a type with source code. Is that there? Get rid of that method I was trying to do. So what's cool about this is now we can now use this from the other location as well. In source code is, oh, we don't even need to set that anymore. We don't need that because we're just simply returning right here. Okay. So that's our check to say, are we inside an initializer with type to source? So now what we can do is we can put that in our other piece as well. And then the other question is, does it have constructors? Does it have matching constructors? So what I want to do next, so I'm going to come up and take this, extract this method. There's has matching constructors. So if it has matching constructors, then we're good to go. We're going to say available is equal to true.
I have a small question mark.
This one's available is equal to, I'm sorry. If it doesn't have it, then available is true. All right. This is our availability check now for the code provider. Let me just put that, let me get something very similar to that over here in the refactoring. And so this is going to be, this is only available if we do not have, if we do have matching constructors, then the refactoring is available. We're going to make the call. Okay. Sorry, go ahead. What did you want to say?
I'm just curious, if you've got an object initializer which is passing in, let's say, 3 integers, which is effectively what we've got, how is it possible to find more than one matching constructor?
How is it possible to find more than one matching constructor? Oh, I see what you're saying. In terms of the count?
Yeah, in terms of the count of the matching of parameters.
So it comes back right here. Well, it could be, it might have to do with, I'm not sure, actually.
Fair enough.
It is the answer immediately. I think we'd have to do some tests to see the results of that.
Okay.
And you've seen enough code at this point that you could figure out what those tests are, right? All you need to do is have different kinds of constructors and see what's going on, see what find constructors is coming back with. One of the possibilities is it might, that I can imagine, because I don't know, I'm not familiar with the code for find constructors, but we might be passing in a double, for example, in a place where an int is acceptable, or actually I'm sorry, the other way around. An int where a double is acceptable, we also have another constructor that also accepts an int or something like that, or maybe a different type. So it may have to do with what types are accepted and with regard to promotion of, or demotion of those types of the arguments.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that might be an answer to it, but for right now, I'm just using count as greater than 0 because I'm not sure about that.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. All right. All right, so now we have our availability checks for both of those, and I think I feel pretty good about that. The next step is we need to actually create some code. What's the new call going to be? So let's take a look at that. We need to let's take a look at what that code is going to be. It's going to be we need to create a new object initializer, or an object, not an object initializer, an object creation expression. So let's do this. Let's create a method that returns a string. And this is going to be get, I'm not sure, yeah, I guess this you could get new constructor call. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take in, accept in an object, something of object creation expression that has an initializer in it already. And we'll call this creation with initializer, like that. And so inside here we'll write some code to actually build that. So we're going to say there's something called RINST, return result instance. RI, there it is right there, RI. Just whatever method type you're in, it creates a variable called result of that type. So RI gives you that. So we'll say this is equal to, initialize this to string.empty. And then we'll say if that's null, then we're going to say return, oops, not that, I want to return the result. Okay? And otherwise, we're going to say, and I guess we can do this, if that's null, or if that object initializer property is also null, then we're going to get out as well. Now, at this point, we have object initializer dot initializers. This is that expression collection. So let's create a new local for this. We'll call this, these are the arguments to the initializer. Let's see if we can, whoops, get a for each on here. What? How did you get that? Okay, note the time. This is like curious. Mm-hmm. Arguments is an expression collection, but CodeRush is somehow thinking it is not expression, it's a char. So this, by the way, kids, is not the final release. This is a build from our server. So so at any rate, so we're going through all of these expression collections. At this point, I think I want to, what else do we need? Oh, we need to also create, we need to create a new object creation expression. And this is the type that we want to create. So we need a type reference coming in. I think we need another parameter in here. New constructor call. What do we have here? We need an type element, I think, is probably what we're going to pass in. Type element. Right. Like that. And okay, type is null. Then, so we run in here, we need a type reference expression. So we're going to say new type reference expression, and we'll pass in the type reference type. What? Type reference expression. Oh, you know what? I'm going to. So I'm not familiar with type reference. I'm not, wait, with type reference type. That one I've never seen before. I am not sure. Let's see if it implements iType elements. Type reference. Oh, actually, yeah, that's, you know what, I'm not going to, I don't want to mess with, I'm sure, this maybe we have to figure this out when we get in here. That part I'm not sure about right there. So what we're going to pass in, I could pass in the name. I suppose I could say type.name.fullname, I think it has. There it is right there. And that could probably get us where we need to be. And so the object creation expression is there, and then we need that arguments over here. So I'm going to, we need to create a new set of arguments that we're passing in, because these arguments are not going to work for us. The initializer arguments are not quite going to work. So we need to create a new expression collection here. And it's going to be called the new args, like this. And we're going to say our new args.add, and it needs an expression. And here it's probably going to be something like new expression something. What do we need here? That's kind of where we're going. Let me just do this for now. And we'll set a breakpoint here. Let's come in here. Let's make a call to this, get new expression call, and we will do this inside of check availability. This is now our refactoring here. Passing in here the initializer and the type element, like that. And whoops, why is it not working with our get new constructor call? Object creation expression. Oh, object initializer expression is that. Shoot. We aren't passing this piece out right here. So let's just change this around. This is a little bit crude. Yeah, I think what I want to do is I want to change this initializer that we're passing in, or that we're, I'm sorry, passing out. And what I want to do instead is I want to change that to the object creation. Bear with me because I'm kind of breaking code here for a second. Creation expression. That's what I want to do there. And I want it to, oops, I want to give it a lowercase. And I want to give it, change this to this. That. And then here I want to pass in is it object initializer? Or just initializer is what it is. Okay. So let's see. Did we get that and we nail that? And then what's going on here inside? Object creation expression. What's happening here? Well, I see, because it's being redeclared right down in here is what's happening.
Okay.
This one, oh, this is because I renamed, did a rename. Hold on a second. We were refactoring for this. Let's put a temporary variable. Call this initializer. And this is of type object initializer expression. All right, that's null. And I think we are we're good. That's what I think we're good. So let's double check that. So now we're getting an object creation expression, and what it and inside has methods and constructors. I think this whole thing started. looks like I have a second column here too. Okay. Holy cow. Okay. So
now, in all fairness, we did reference rabbit holes at the start of this. You were all forewarned.
Yeah. We need music around.
Imagine trying to do this kind of refactoring without CodeRush.
All right. So here we go. What is it called? The new call is going to equal that. I just want to set that up there. It's equal to that get new construction call. I want to take this and put it inside the other check availability piece, which is right here, and do this. Now I want to run it. Let's see what I've done wrong. There it is. All right. Okay. That was pretty gnarly. So we want to get that new call code. That's what our goal is. Let me see if I can find one. This is starting up. Here's object initializer test. Here's that piece over here. So we want to create this call like this. We want to go from here to here. And so let's just kind of review this again inside of this. The object creation expression here has arguments that are passed into it. So there's the argument collection, and it's simply each of these element pieces here. They're just all primitive expressions, but arguments is of type element expression collection. Okay, and we're going from this property inside of here called what is it? Object initializers. Is that what it was? No, initializers. There it is, initializers, which has these pieces here. And these element types are member initializer expression. And inside member initializer expression, they have a property called value. And that's value, even though it says 44 here, that's just the toString. That value is then going to give you the primitive expression, which is what we want. So we want to build that. So let's go in here and we'll check availability. It looks like we're failing here because, or there's no, not failing, but availability is not there because of the checks we had before. But here we should see availability. Do we not have breakpoints? Oh wait, this is not the running version. Sorry guys, this is the running version. This is the version we're debugging right here. This other one is just a separate instance of Visual Studio that I had up so that I could come over and we can look at that while it was starting up. Okay, so here, do I not have a breakpoint? Looks like I don't have a breakpoint. Wait, here's my get new constructor call. I definitely have a breakpoint here. What's going on? Maybe I just didn't hit the key. Bring up the refactoring. Okay, here we go. So what will happen, the reason why this wasn't called is because I didn't hit the key. So CodeRush, when it goes to determine if something is available to get those ... that smart tag up, it'll go and it'll find, I'm pretty sure it has a history of what is the fastest, what are the fastest refactorings to come back and return from their availability check. So it'll run those first, and if it finds any of them come back and say, yes, I'm available, it'll just simply put the smart tag, and it doesn't bother checking any others because it just needs to tell you, yes, something is available. But then when you bring the menu up, then it'll actually call availabilities for each piece. So now we're inside get new constructor call. Result is empty. Here we go. Here's our arguments. And so each piece here, what we want to do here is we want to come down here and want to say new args.add. And I think we can just come in here and say argument.value. Do I have value here? Oh, I don't have value. Let's do this. Let's comment this out and see what we get when we step inside. Where am I? Here we go. All right. So argument. Let's add it to the watch. Let's look at what argument is. Looks like it didn't get in. Hold on a second. Delete these pieces. Drop argument in. Argument says dot height. Let's see what we have here. Hold on. What's its type? There it is, right over on the right. Member initializer expression. So look to the right. See that? See the hint coming out? I can't quite put the mouse over it, but if you look far right.
The tooltip on the right of the screen there, yeah.
Yeah, tooltip on the right. Member initializer expression. So we need to typecast it to that, I think, and then we'll be able to see value. So argument as member initializer expression. CodeRush key, and do this. If it's in, then we're going to continue. Otherwise, we're going to, so let's just step through this. Boom, boom, boom. And now we are going to come down here and say uargs.add. There's value. Semicolon. So let's put the statement here. Okay. And boom, boom, boom. So there's one. We should hit this 3 times. 2. In fact, let's look at what value is, because that'll give us some reassurance. There we go. 22. Okay.
There we go.
And then so we come back in and the whoops. Okay. So I step through those, and what I want to do is I want to actually come back up here, and so now I've got my new arguments. I have. Have I created my? Looks like I've not created my new. There it is, right there. That's what I want to have. New type reference. So I'm passing in full name, and the other piece I need is my arguments right here. Passing in that. I'll call this the new object creation expression. Okay, this is the one without the initializers in it. So let's run
Mark,
this
you're
one.
not supposed to be pulling in new args rather than arguments there.
Oh, I don't definitely need new args. That's why you're here, Rory. That's why you're here. Okay. All right. So there's my new object creation expression. And then we want to say something like if not null, then we want to say result is equal to CodeRush.language.generate element, pass in the element, and see what we get. So let's see what happens now. So I want to set execution to this statement right here. Step through it, step through it. What is result? New object initializer test.box. Oh, so interesting. So my type.fullname needs some work because it's putting the whole thing in right there. Can I do it without? Maybe I can, I need a little bit of research here to see exactly what I need to pass in. I'm going to just change this to type.name for now to simplify the code so that it will, in fact, let's come back up here again and let's set back to here and then let's step through it. Now we've got result new box 4022. I was expecting one more parameter, and I think because maybe the first time I stepped through, I maybe was writing the code. So let me come right back up to here again, and let's just run it one more time and stop it here, and then see what we get. Run. There it is. New box 33, 44, 22. Okay, so now we have the code that's the new call. Okay, so that's our new call. Let's next work on the preview. We'll build the preview next, and then we'll generate the code. So here is our convert constructor call. The preview for both of these, I think, is going to be identical. I think the preview is the same because you're really only showing the calling code, not the target code that we're going to be doing. So. Sure. So let's go ahead and we'll run it, and then we'll hit the key to bring it up. Get rid of that. Let's hold on one more time. Now when we highlight it, there we go. Prepare preview. So there, the menu is up, and now this is our opportunity to prepare preview. Unfortunately, now that we're debugging, we have the refactor menu on top, and there's not much we can do because it's on top right now. But it's going to look something like this: EA dot add code preview. And we need to give it a location. So I'll figure this out in a second. But we also need to give it the code. The code's going to be the new code, the new call rather. Let's declare this local. There's location, and what we really want to do is if we had I had the option to store it before, didn't I? So let's do this. Let's here come in and say, what did I call it? Delete range. Okay, that'll work still. So we'll say delete range is equal to the object creation expression dot range dot start. Whoops, not state, dot start. Okay, whoops, no wait, dot range, just range. Okay, there's delete range. So let's run it. I'm going to comment this out for a second. And we'll bring it up one more time. And we'll now hit that breakpoint. And we're going to say range.start. So that's going to add the code preview. The other piece we're going to come in and we're going to say is add strike through. There it is. And pass in the delete range.
So is the code preview going to deliberately overlap the strike through, or is it going to just remove itself slightly to the left?
Let's watch. There you go.
Very nice.
And we're back up to a rocking speed again, right? It was gnarly. I mean, this is how it goes when we're doing this live, right? It goes like awesome, then gnarly, and hopefully awesome again, and hopefully by the end we're actually going to be, we're really close, right? Here's the new code we're going to, I'm sorry, what do you want to say, Rory?
No, totally agree. We are very close.
So well, we still have to go do the target picker and we have to generate the constructor, okay?
Yeah.
But now, I mean, check it out. We just had 2 lines of code and we get this. That's all we had to do, right? We get that code preview, a really nice code preview comes in that shows us what's going to happen if we convert to initialize your constructor call. Now,
well, arguably, our refactoring is done because this just takes advantage of an existing constructor, doesn't it?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Oh, it's almost done. I just have to do the apply. Let's go ahead and get it to that point. Sure. And then we'll talk about the second thing, which is the which use the target picture. So the last thing we need is here's the refactoring convert to constructor call apply. So let's take that and let's make it done. Okay. Whoops, not there. There. Convert initializer to constructor call. Hitting enter. Now we're in the apply. And now this should be pretty easy. Event args dot. Do we have a text document in here? We do. Text document dot. See, by the way, kids, when we're on, in terms of designing the API for CodeRush, this is the way it should be. The event args, right, and the event handler should have all kinds of things that make it helpful for you. Like here, get declaration, we added that. Right, a lot of properties, things like that. Method of property gets you the method of property that you're currently in. And look at this, returns the active method of property, the caret. This is when we're on. It should totally be like this. When we're not on, you have these harder to discover pieces like parser services dot source tree resolver. Right, that's kind of a super advanced thing that we use. So apologies for that when we're not like really doing well. But at any rate, here we're on. So here we want to go into text document dot what is it? Insert text. Or actually, no, I think we want to replace.
Replace.
I think there's a replace.
Yeah.
Now there's 2 versions of replace. There's a replace text, which does a find and replace, as you can see right down in here. Find and replace. But there's also replace itself, which is what we want. Replace, we want to pass in the source range, which is delete range. New call is the new code. The operation we're going to call convert to constructor. This is what shows up in the undo menu. Okay, you convert to constructor, and I think that's it. Let's run it. Run.
Bam. There you go.
Undo. Let's do it one more time. Convert to constructor call. Boom. Okay. So, not bad. But I also down here have this, where we have no constructor yet inside car that matches it. When we jump into constructor, it's simply this, just a bunch of data. I'm sorry, not jump into constructor. I meant to say jump into car, the car class. All right. So here we have this piece. Let's do its preview hint. So its preview hint is working. I'm going to copy these 2 lines of code. We'll refactor it later. Pop into the preview hint there for this piece. The apply is going to be a little trickier. So here's the preview hint. Paste those in. See how easy it is to add these things, though, through the add methods on the event args? Real
Yeah.
easy. What's cool is you don't need to do anything like oh, oh, the menu no longer has focus. I need to turn my stuff, keep my stuff away. Oh wait, why isn't it working? Something's failing. Oh, I know why. Because we're not setting delete range and new call inside of the get availability piece for that. Let's type in CA for check availability. There's the create constructor. That's the one we want right there. So we want to say, oh, we are setting up new call, it looks like. Actually, I can make the change right here. Oh, no, I can't. Let's bring it up. Okay. So we're available. It's interesting, it didn't show the code preview. All right, let's try it. Oops. All right, there we go. That's what I wanted to see.
There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Now we got to actually build this piece. So this is a little bit tricky. Was I smart? I just realized, was I smart enough to actually? Oh, I think I was. Maybe not smart enough is the right word, but so here's create constructor apply. We need to cut into there, and we also have another event handler in here, which is for the target picker selected. So let's run it, and we'll come in and we'll apply. Boom. So now, what did we do in that other apply? We did this. Whoops, that's what we did here. However, what I want to do is I want to do something else. We have that changes piece right here, changes.add. And I want to say a new file change. I want to pass it into here. The file change gives us some options here. Let's do this. Let's introduce a local for it. Call this the new file change. Because with this, I have to change maybe up to 2 files, right? I have to change the current file I'm in, and maybe if that class is in another file, I have to change that as well.
That's right.
Right? Okay, so and here I'm thinking, geez, now I want to cache out some of the pieces that we saved before, but we can't cache and change that. We can't create any new fields because we're debugging, so I may write some code to just put those pieces in. But it's going to look like this. New file change dot, let's see, path equal to, well, we need to get the type that we're building here. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this down, and I'm going to say the file path. We'll declare that in a second. What else do we need? File change dot range. That's equal to the delete range. We have that already. And well, I guess you know what, I could cheat. I'm going to cheat for a little bit on this. CodeRush dot documents dot active text document dot path. There it is right there. So I'm just cheating for now because I know that when this comes in, the active text document is going to be there, and it's going to have a path, and I can use that. Although I really, really think I want to cache this, just so I'm not checking again. The range is this, and then we have the new text that we want to put in, and that's going to be equal to the new call. Changes, we're going to add the file change to it. Okay?
Okay.
Is there anything else that we need to set inside of new file change? The order. I see. So I'm not going to set that because we're only making one to this file. And it's associated data. I'm not sure what data is, but the feeling is for something that you, I don't know what it is. I can speculate, but I'm not sure what data it is. Okay. So that's one of the pieces. The other thing we need to do is we have to go to our target picker. We need to call start on it. And let's see. This part may be tricky. What does it need? It needs a text view and a starting point in the text view, and another option to insert code I would add, and a state. So, but we need the text view to the piece we're changing, the type that we're changing. I need to cache that. I really feel like I need to cache it because I don't want to come in and have that code execute a second time. That code is right up in here when we do the check availability. Just call inside initializer. All right, let's do this. I'm just going to, this is gnarly, it needs to be refactored, but I don't want to restart. So so we'll do this. We'll just copy that same code. What is it? Oh, it needs the event arcs. All right, we're caching. All right, Roy, I'm shutting down. We're going to cache it. So I need an iType. I need to go find that iType element, and I want to cache that we found. So let's do this. Where's the other type element right here? There it is right there. Let's clear this as a field. So now we've got that as a field that's coming in here. So this is the one that we're going to be modifying. So now we have that. Let's go, whoops, I want to go back because I want to update all those calls. To inside type source. Don't need type element anymore. Good. All right, where's the other one? There it is here. See what I'm doing? I'm doing this so I can rename the two locals, and then I'm deleting this local declaration. It's kind of a trick. Okay, and now I think, let's see if I code that. Wait, I don't code that compiles. Right there. So now we have type element. So now I want to get the view. How do I get the view from a type reference? I think it's going to go like, this part I have not figured out.
You can probably get the text document from the object itself.
You think so? Let's see what we got.
And then the view for the active view for that. Document. Mind you, that's no, because a type element doesn't necessarily have a document associated with it, does it? It's only if you downcast a class.
Hold on, it's got a file node, I think. File's the first file. It's the first file where the element is declared.
What if it's a light class element? It wouldn't have a file of any kind at that point.
It does if we're here because we have source code to it. So it should. And well, if it doesn't, there's a way to promote a light element to a heavier element. So here's what Roy's talking about. Roy just talked about something. This is like kind of an interesting thing to think about or to realize. We have these things called I elements. And these are lightweight elements for representing source code. And then we also have something called a language element, which is heavier. Heavier, bigger, more properties, more methods, things like this. Bigger elements. And the reason we have two different pieces here is essentially for performance and memory usage. So we can get you an I element for anything, including referenced assemblies. Okay. And we can take that I element and promote it to something bigger using something called a language element restorer. And there's something that says convert to language element. And we can pass in our I element. So Rory's question is, what if it's lightweight? We can make it heavier using this. So that might be something we'll use as we go through and look at first file to see what comes up here. And it may be too that when we, in the sample code we have, we're just not able to see all of the possible cases that we need to modify this, so we might find some bugs later on as we look at this with other code. But I want to try this. I want to try type element.firstFile dot, I don't think it's got a text view. I doubt it's got a text view associated with it, or a view, I'm sure. So it's not that. Do we have a name? Name. Gets the name. Okay. So now what I'm thinking is something like this. CodeRush dot views, text views dot, we have a get call. One of the options is a text document. Oh, only text document. So we got to pass in a text document. So let's do this. Documents dot get file name. That might return something. Actually, let's do this as text document Let's do that. Let's set a breakpoint here. Okay. But if we can get to text document, then we can go from text document and we can go get its active view.
Yep.
And we worked with active view before. And we can do this. If no, then get out of there. Active view, get out of there. And maybe that we actually, we might have to activate. Okay, now I think am I ready to run? Is there anything else I want? I'm going to say let's run. But we need to generate the constructor code, so we really don't have that piece yet. What are we at? We're at 90 minutes. So my goal was to finish it by 90. So I'm going to give this 30 more minutes, and then I'm going to shut it because it's a long time to do a webinar. And we'll either follow up with a second part 2 on this if we don't finish in the next 30, or I'll do a blog post that shows what the missing code pieces are that we didn't have time to build. So let's open up Object Initializer Test. By the way, I think we answered actually the first part of the challenge, right? Which was, how do I build a refactoring? Right? We're still working on the code provider, but it's complex, right? We have a target picker, we have multiple files that we're possibly going to be changing, so we kind of have to play with that a little bit. So here, by the way, car is inside the same file. So we'll start off with a simple case here. Come in here, let's create this piece. So here's our call. I'm going to step through this. There's our file change, our new file change. We're passing that in. We're adding that file change in there. Oh, why debugger canvas? Why do that to me? And what? Can I can't tell where we are here now. We should be probably there. Let me do this. Let's just run it, see if I get to that point. Nope, didn't get to it. So we never actually applied those changes. And we did bring up the target picker, though, I think. Let me do this again. It was hard to tell for sure. Let's do this again. Wait. Okay. Let's do it again. Run it. Oh, we're getting out. We're exiting early. That's what's happening. Let's see why. There's changes. Why is it not liking that? Changes.add, is that what it's failing on? So when changes.add comes, it's as if, I wonder if an exception occurs, and that's why debugger canvas comes up. Let's see. This is hard to tell what's going on. I'm going to run this. I'm going to turn off that breakpoint right there. Let's just set this breakpoint. See if we ever get to this breakpoint, then that would confirm that we're getting an exception there. I think we're getting a second exception. Let's do this. Let's do it. Apply. Wrap it in and try catch. Put a breakpoint here. See what that exception is. Oh, we are getting here. Okay, good. Object reference? What? What changes? Oh, my bad. I had this on the clipboard and I typed in NINST for new instance. For folks who are wondering how I just created that line of code so quickly for creating new instances, okay? That was on the clipboard. Okay, let's try again. Caret here. Oh, it can't be because we're in a no ref. We have to get out of this. All right, step. And now we're going to put the caret back up here. Okay, step, step. There we go. Add it. And I need to clear that changes piece as well. So text document, let's see if we get anything back from here. We do. First file name. Okay. So there, active view. Probably getting something from there, active view as well. Good. And then what we want to do is pass in for starter picker. We want to pass in the initial view. So we'll say active view. Right there. Language element start. So this is the starting location where the target picker is going to first position it. So what we want to do is we want to get to that type element dot first. Oh, where's it? Why don't we have first child? Do I have first on here? Yeah, no, I'm like, let's see. Maybe I'm going to have to promote this thing. Maybe we're going to have to use it right now. So let's do this. So this is kind of a light element. Let's see if we can do that. We can build that up using language element restore. Language element restore, I convert to language element. Let's pass in the type element. Let's just square local. See what happens on this line of code when we get down here. Okay, F10, F10, what do we get? Nice. All right. So now, what do we have now on? Wait, this is of type. Run this over it. It's a class. Oops. All right. So let's go this dot first child. That's the piece I want it to go in. Insert code at, and I want to say put it use picker. So the picker will specify where that location is. And then the last is just some state information that we can save with the picker. So let's now see if that works. So I want to go to this piece. I think and reuse that. Do that line of code again. And let's run it. And now we're inside car. I can use the target picker moving up and down, right? And then I can hit enter. And now we're inside our target picker one target selected. Here's what we need to generate that code. So at this point, changes has one thing, but we need to actually go in and add, this is where we add the actual constructor code, which we haven't even looked at yet. What the heck does that look like? How are we going to build that? I know, it's fun, isn't it? All right, so let's come in here and let's go find a constructor. So here we actually have a constructor. Let's see what it looks like. So we have something on the outside that says, by the way, this is, I think, from the piece we're debugging, right? So this is my third instance of Visual Studio. All right, we're debugging in the background. Let's just do this. Let's just say changes.clear. So we clear out those changes, and we'll just run. So we won't actually put any code in. So we're just going to run it. So we get rid of that dumb hint that's up there. And let's go look at, wait, it's not this one, it's this one, which has the piece on it. So here we go. We're on this constructor right here for the box. What does it look like? So I have method, it's a method, and the method type is constructor, and it's got the parameters, so we have to build some parameters for it, and we have to give them the right names. This is the part that's a little tricky, and boy, I think we do not have enough time for me to figure this out, but I will do my best. And then after we do the parameters, and we built those, well, actually, we just kind of need those, right? That's all we really need, is just to get the parameters in there. Oh, wait, no, we don't. We need this too, sorry. We need this bit of code as well. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about something essentially this complex. We need to build a parameter, and it's going to have the types of all those pieces, and we need to build these assignment statements inside. The parameters are the detail nodes, and I think that there's already a property in here called parameters on method. Let's see. There it is right there. So we can just add to the parameters each parameter we create, and then it's also got some child nodes, so we can add those statements to the inside of it right here. These are assignments, and the assignments just have element reference expressions on both sides. Okay. One is to the name of the piece, and the other is to the value it's getting. Oh wow, look at this. Let's fix that for goodness sake. That was from my original starting code. And depth right there. Okay. So all right, so that's what we have to build. So let's do that. Let's look at that code, and we'll set the breakpoint. We'll open all that up. Let's go into our running code. Here's where we are coming into the selected piece. That's where we want to actually set the breakpoint. So we'll come in here, hit the refactoring, create and convert initializer to constructor call. So now clear this breakpoint, clear this, and run. And let's see what fields do we have to work with again. We have the type element, but you know what? I think we now need this, the object creation expression, just to save us some time. But you know what I guess I'm going to do is, I hate doing this so much, Rory. It's like I'm balancing between the interest of, good code and finishing this quickly. So I'm going to copy this ugly code. I'm copying it. I hate this, but I'm going to do it. When do I have target selected? Oh no, it's not going to work. Yeah, we're going to have to. Sorry, I'm shutting down. Shutting down Visual Studio. Coming back, we're going to need that second piece as a field. So we know I want a refactoring right here that says convert out parameter to field, because this is what I'm about to do, right? I'm taking all of this code here, and I'm essentially turning it into a field. So let's do that. We're going to do this manually because we don't have a refactoring to do this for us right now. So I'm going to rename this to object creation expression. Set a breakpoint. A marker there. Let's tab through, see everywhere we see it. Only in 2 places, so not too bad. So here I'm going to do the same thing we were doing over in the other location where I rename it to this piece, and we'll delete this. We'll get rid of that one there, and let's go hit escape to jump back to where we were. Let's tab to the next reference. Do the same thing here. It's kind of an interesting trick I'm doing, right? I'm making a change, breaking the calling point, and then hitting escape to get back and using tab to the next reference to see if there are any more. Once I'm done, then I know I'm done, and I can come out, get rid of that. Oops. Put it back in here, and now come in and say, let's widen scope to promote to field. So it's not too hard to do that. So now I've got my object creation expression now, and so now I can work in my target selected now with pieces, those elements of the object created expression. Let's just tap to the right next reference, see through all of these. So here, we're doing it there. This is inside initializer with that source. So there's that call where we get it there. Here we set the initializer expression. You know what I want to do? I want to do this, Rory. I want to take this and I want to widen scope promote this to field as well. This initializer expression, just in case I want to save myself a little bit of time. Actually, it's not saving much. I'm just realizing because I'm only doing this. It's only saving me a property reference. But so I don't know. Maybe I'll undo this later. Okay. So we got type element. All of those things are being set, and so now we have this much simpler is inside initializer with type to source call, which I'm liking now better. Let's get rid of that error. I'm doing it again. Well, actually, that error is, okay, we don't need it there. Okay, so, what else? Oh, I know, we're going to because of the declaration. That's what we got. That's what we got. That was what I needed to fix there. Okay, I'm barely with me. Is everybody else with me?
I'm still with you.
You're with me? All right, let's run it. So I think we've made the changes we need, hoping we've made the changes we need. So we're going to create a new constructor. That's going to be the code we're going to add there. Holy cow, we're going to call apply, and boy, wouldn't it be awesome if it worked. And then we'll make some changes. I have 18 minutes to make this work. Maybe I can make it happen.
I think this is totally doable.
Amanda, are you still with us? Holy cow, have you had lunch yet, girl? This is like, we're going almost on 2 hours. Okay.
Hello, hello.
Amanda hates me.
Oh, believe me, I've noticed.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Thanks, Amanda. All right, so here, create and convert initializer to constructor call. Boom. Select the location. Boom, we hit enter. Now we're over here. Now I've got that piece, that object creation expression piece that I should, whoops, wrong key, should be able to work with. And I've also got that initializer as well, right? The, what's it called? I call it initializer. Is that what it is? Initializer expression. And the initial expression has what? The initializers, right? So that's going to lead us to creating our parameters. So we'll say for each, did it again, look at that. There's definitely an odd state that I'm in here. Expression. These are all expressions. This may be a settings issue as well, because there are settings that actually can determine how for each can determine what the pieces are. But at any rate, so for each initializer inside of there, so I need to come in and do something like this. New parameter. Now we had some kind of discussion about this before. So the parameters, param is there inside structural parser. Parameter is inside here, DevExpress CodeRush core parameter. We're actually inside of that. When we were inside of that one piece, it said it was a type parameter. I am not sure what the distinction is between these two. At first I thought I wasn't sure what this one was. Yeah, this is just clonable. So I am going to go back with using param instead, like I did last time, because I felt more
I believe param is correct. Param is a parameter to a method, whereas a parameter may be a parameter to a text command or a string provider.
So here it's asking for the type right here, so it'll be initializer dot, and this is the expression, and holy cow, I am at this point not sure where we're going to get here. Just like type, element type, no, not going to help me.
Let's go into the loop and see what we actually get.
You want to just set a breakpoint there? I'll take it. Yeah, I'm like also, hungry and, as well. So yeah, let's do this. Let's set a breakpoint there, get inside the loop. So part of what we're going to need to do, though, I definitely know we're going to need to come in here and say new method, okay? We also might work with an element builder, because we were talking about this last time as well. Let's see if an element builder will help us out. New element builder. I think we have an add constructor. We do. And it just needs a parent for the type declaration. So it might work with element builder. All right, setting a breakpoint here. Let's see what we get. We can run it. I got the song in my head. I get knocked down. I get up again. It's like Mark Miller's greatest hits. So, so let's see. Where's the one we want to run? Where is it? Wait, are we running? We're running.
Do we ditch out?
Hold on. I'm confused as to which instance of Visual Studio we're actually running in. Here, I should be seeing one that just has a. This is not the one we're running in. I don't understand how this thing is up here like this, because we actually added some fields. Let me close this down a second.
Did you say you had 2 copies of the box solution?
Yeah,
at one point?
I do. Debug stopped it. Okay, there we go. It came down. That was the one we were running. I don't remember clicking on the solution to open it up. So maybe I did do that. I just didn't realize it. I had a moment of doubt. All right, so here we go. Coming up. Where's that start page? I'm hoping for greatness, Rory. 13 minutes.
We're on the cusp.
What'd you say?
We're on the cusp. Greatness awaits.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling there's a few small things we have to change. Okay. Enter. Okay. So let's go in here. We got this element builder's new element builder. We're going to come in here. Let's see, add constructor. So I'm actually going to pass in null here to this constructor. And this is our constructor. And let's just execute this line of code. So let's take a look at our constructor. The main thing I want to see is if, what? Seriously?
You have to tell it what you're going to construct.
It was asking for a parent, and I was like, oh, are you really going to do this? Do I have a build constructor? Maybe I need that. Let's use that instead. And we'll come back up here again. So add constructor, I guess apparently definitely needs a parent, and build constructor, I'm betting does not. There we go. So I have here, it has no name at it at this point, but I'm interested to see if the method type on this, it's just a method, but I'm interested in the method type is set correctly for us. It's a constructor, it is, so we're good with that. So we'll say constructor dot, well, actually we don't need a name for it because it is in fact a constructor, I think. Or do we? Because maybe we do need it because it's the type name. So name equals the type element dot name. Let's see what happens there. And execute that line of code. And now I want to do one other thing. I want to have a call to element builder dot generate code. And I actually want to stick it down inside of here in the watch window just to see what's happening. That's not good. Oh, because element builders, this is just returning something that's not yet added to anything yet. So let's do this. Let's say element builder dot add. Is it just node? And pass in a constructor. So let's execute that line of code. Needs a parent. So here I can pass it out, specify a null. Let's run this line of code and see if that works. All right, now let's refresh this. All right, car, carriage return, open brace, carriage return, close brace. Okay, simple so far. All right, so now we want to come in and say, let's see what we have something in the constructor called parameters. Empty, but it is initialized. So I want to come down in here for each expression in initializer. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. And so now what I want to do is I want to say new param. And let's grab the initializer and let's just put it down. Actually, let's come out a second and bring the initializer down here. This initializer is called the make, so that's actually one of the properties that I was passing in. And I think it also has, I've got initializer.value. Let's see if I have that as well. I do not. It's going to be typecast to something else, I bet. Let's see.
This was the initializer expression, or?
Yes.
We did the cast before somewhere.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is, let's just see what, or let's go into base and let's see if we have value in here. Boy, this is, I'm trying to, right now because I'm pressed for time, I'm trying to think of the fastest way in here to initializer. What is this element of? It's a member initializer expression. That's what I want. Okay, so let's do that. If initializer, let's see this instead. Initializer as member initializer expression. So local. If null, then continue. And then down here we're going to say, now we have something to work with down here. We have member initializer expression dot value, and we have also dot name, I think, is what we're going to, let's actually see what we have. Let's get to this line of code, run it. Rory, in his infinite wisdom, oh, we got null on that. Wait, did we really get null? Oh, no, we didn't. We didn't because we would have gone to this line of code. So we're good. It's just there's nothing else to execute. So let's drop this down in here and make a copy of it. And down here we'll grab value and this one dot name. So there we go. So now for the new parameter. So that's the property name is what's going on there. The value, actually, we don't care about value. We actually just care about the name, not value. So we have this dot name. That is going to be equal to the name of the, well, we need the parameter in lowercase is what we really need to do. Oh my gosh, how much time? 8 minutes. Okay, so this is going to be the parameter name, kind of. What we really need to do is convert this to lowercase. I don't know if we have anything in CodeRush that we can get it quickly, but we have some string providers that will do it for us as well. Do I have any style, code style dot, please help me. Give me some local, some local here. Ooh, local. Has local style, prefix local. I would like to convert to local. Wait, format. Local, no. Yeah. Let's fake it. Okay. Since I don't, in the interest of time, I'm going to do this. Or P. I'll just put the letter P in front of it. Okay. So there's my parameter name for it. The other piece, the other option here is the type as well. So we need to figure out what the type is of this. So member initializer expression. Let's see if we can drill into this and see what we can find the type of this. So we have the name, but we're looking for something that's going to tell us that this is a type string. So let's see what we got. We're going into the base. Going into the base again. Going into base one more time. Come on, give me something here. It's not element type. So every time you see that, it's not that. And we're just getting noise, more and more noise as we come in here. All right, let's not do this. Let's go and let's use IntelliSense instead to see if IntelliSense will give this to me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just totally am not working on this. Get type name. There. Should have just gone with that. I bet you that does it for us. Let's put it in the watch to verify. I want to see the word string. Oops, there we go. No. Get type name. Oh, that's not. So that's not going to help us either. No more initializer expression. Let's look at it up in the in here and see what we can do. So we're over here. Remember initializer expression. Oh, it's the piece inside, I think. That's what we have to get is we have to get the primitive expression inside. So member initializer expression dot value. So let's work with that. So it's going to be like this. Member initial expression dot value dot get type name. See if that gives me what I want. Come on, baby. I feel like I'm rolling dice in Vegas. Ah! Ah! All right. I still feel like I'm close.
So Mark, there's a .resolve which will give you the type declaration which you can take the name from.
On value or on something else?
Or on member initializer expression has a resolve.
Oh, okay. We also have one on this one as well. Let's see what we get. Parser services dot source tree resolver, and let's see what happens if I execute that line of code. And what do we get? No. All right, let's try it on. Let's try it your way. Let's go back up. Do that. Give it to me. Give me something. Resolve. Oh, it got something. Rory, check it out.
Yeah. Light element as well, which you'd expect from a string.
This is light element. Let's see what its name is. Yes!
Bingo.
Awesome. Look at the time. 3 minutes to go. All right. So we need to go in resolve.name and do that. We need to do this. Say something like if not null, then this is our new parameter, and let's declare a local for that. And then we want to come in. We want to say back to our constructor dot parameters dot add and pass in that param. Okay. Now let's do this a couple times. So we want to come back up here. Setting here. We're starting in again. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Good, good, good. I'm going to just set a breakpoint out here now. Run it. Constructor parameters. Oh, why? Oh, wait, let's refresh.
Got to refresh.
Yes, look at that.
Yeah.
String, double. Okay, so it's not bad. Here's what I'm going to do. In the interest of time, I'm just going to generate the code, show it, but it's going to be missing the assignments. Okay? Sure. You with me? So you won't do that because it's probably going to take another 20 minutes to get those assignments, maybe. But I'll do those offline, and we'll put the whole source up, and you can have fun with this. But what I am going to do is let's go into changes. We need another change, right? Let's look through where we were doing this before, where we were creating a new file change. So let's look at this. Come back over here. Let's paste this code in. So we're going to now create a This is going to call this the new constructor, like that. And let's go to this. Now the path here, though, is maybe different. Actually, it actually is going to be the active document path because the target picker would have brought us to a new document if it was in another place. So we can still use the same path here. The range, though, is going to be kind of an empty range that's pointing to the right location. And so that should be in the event args right here. This EA event args. So let's see what we've got in there. Event args dot location, target picker location. What's inside there? We have a range. No, we do have a source point, I bet. Oh, so we have a source point. So we need to say a new source range and pass in both source points right there. So it's essentially a range that's empty, but consisting of one location. So that's the range that we're going to come in, put in. And now the new call is going to be this call right here to elementbuilder.generateCode. So that's the text. Then we're going to say changes.add new constructor. Okay, and then we're going to say changes dot. Do we have an apply? No, we don't. But we do have CodeRush dot file dot apply changes, and we can actually pass in that piece to it. Do we have another parameter on there? With undo? Yes, with undo. With multiple links? No, we don't need that. And is there any other option? Just those two? Okay, right there. And let's now. I'm just going to run it because right now we're skipping this bit of code, but I'm going to now clear my breakpoints and just run it for real and watch it generate the code. And we're right at 2 o'clock. All right, so this better work. Here we go. In here, create, enter. No! Oh, it was so awesome for a moment. That's kind of bad. All right, let's do one more thing. I just want to see if there's a problem with my, let's do move type to file on here. So we got its own. I just want to see if the target picker works here as well if I do it here. Let's try it again. Come in here. Whoop, not wrong. Move the wrong one. I want to move this, not car. I want to move car show to its own file. Move type to file. There's car show. Here we go. Coming in. We did not activate. So we need to activate the piece. So that piece is also failing. Oh, I was so excited for something to actually work. All right, let's go back in to, what did I just close? Car show? Okay. Let me undo this a bit. Come back so we just all have under one, and we'll set a breakpoint and try and figure out what's going on with our changes. And maybe it's just going to be, if I can't find it very quickly, we'll have to accept my apologies. Enter, calling applied changes. Changes, we should have 2 entries inside of changes. Interesting. Ranges is 5 entries inside of it. Let's see what happens when we have 10 on that. Oh, we get an exception. Interesting. Okay, so applied changes isn't working very well. Let's figure out what, maybe we have a problem. Maybe the data is the piece that's missing. So let's do it again. Let's run it. What's our exception? What's not set to an instance? I wonder if it's the, I wonder if it's that data property. Maybe that's it. Let me, hold on a second. I'm looking at some reference code that I had before I started this that one of our devs created for me. What is going on here? Got this off screen. All right. All right, so let me show you what I'm all looking at right here. So this was created by one of my devs as a sample for this. So Here we're passing, when we create file change, passing only 3 parameters. So yeah, so this should work. So that's looking good to me. Let's see what other pieces are going on. Changes.add. Look at changes. Apply changes. Oh, wait, what's going on in there? Apply changes. Oh. Let's copy this, bring it over.
Mm-hmm.
This is so we can do the undo. All right, so let's do that, see if that's going to help us. Step through, so we get outside of the exception. Now let's replace that with this bit. So I compound action, so this is for having multiple changes to multiple files, and so that we can have an undo inside of that. So there we go. Create constructor from initializer. We'll take that. Let's put the caret back up here. Now please work with the help of the research done by, ooh, and it did not, we're actually running. And so now let's see what we have. Car still has no constructor. But it didn't fail. Let's try. I want to try one more time. I'm just like, in case maybe I hit that clear piece. Let's do it one more time. Enter. Still nothing. Okay. So at this point, so we've had a mix, right? We had some good, awesome stuff, and now at this point we've got a little bit of a I don't know if it's fair to call it a glitch or not, but something that is going to take more research. We're at 2:05, so I've taken up, a lot of time to get here. So I'll do a follow-up blog post. When we post the webinar for this, we'll put a link to that blog post out so we can see what was wrong, what's the missing piece right there at the end, and then we'll figure that out and get there. So, Rory, do we have any questions now that we've slammed right through?
Nothing extra has come up. I believe we've gone pretty deep here, but we have at pretty much every stage covered explanations of pieces that we're doing. So we've done pretty well. There was one thing I noted a little earlier on. When we did a resolve on an object and we pulled it out and we said it was a class, you will get a failure with that if the item in question was a structure or a struct in C# parlance. If you want to go with a type declaration as your piece there, that'll actually be the superclass of either of those options. But notwithstanding that, I think actually we've done pretty well. It's just we're missing by a hair's breadth our final piece.
That's it. I'm just going to run and find my target picker inside here because I want to also make it, here we go, this piece where I said we might have to activate it here. I think we have to activate it there. So let's see if we can make that happen. So I get to this point, invoke it, and now I want to activate that piece right here. So active view, oh wait, active view, we did this before. It's null. Remember the active view? But I bet, what did we find? Was it first view? There it is, first view.
Oh, of course, because active means actually in use when technically you may not be viewing it at this precise moment.
All right. And then let's get out of the return. So no return there. And let's see if that works. So here we go. Step, 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 and then run.
You'll have to actually assign that value to active view, won't you?
Oh, did I make a mistake? Oh, okay, hold on a second. Let's do it again. Well, let's get a breakpoint back in there.
You did the activation, but you didn't then reassign the current active view.
Absolutely right. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. And there also may be a situation where you have to open up the file if the file's not open. So there's also that possibility as well. So we'll say active view is equal to this. We're going to activate it. I'm going to just say return at this point. And here is where we're going to have, let's add block delimiters. We may have to open the file. Okay, so there's an option there as well. I'm going to just set a breakpoint there. We'll look at that and test that after offline. So now let's see if we at least get this now. So one more time. Do this. Nope, didn't get it to it. Didn't get it. Why did that fail? So it is calling it. Let's do this. Text document.activate. So I'll activate the document. So activating on the view, let's see if that works. Come on, give it to me here. Go. Sorry, I'm going to clear the breakpoint so I'm not swapping back and forth. Seriously, no? All right, need some research. I'm not going to take you any more of your time, guys. So I'm going to do some research on this. We'll figure out why I need, what I'm missing there with regard to activating on the text document, and we'll figure out why that's not working. And oh, sorry, I see it already. I think it's food that I need. There's my activate call. That's the one I wanted. I wanted to activate on the document itself. Okay. Now let's see if it does it. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. Okay. So there's that. Hit enter. Still, the code changes are not occurring. So I need to figure out why those code changes are not occurring. And we'll look at that. And then I will post the blog post up, and we'll see what's going on. We'll get source code. So with that, I want to wrap up. Amanda, I want to thank you for hanging with us. Tom, we're almost there. We almost have what you're asking for, and I think it'll just take like maybe about another half hour to get that finished. So the finishing pieces are I need to add the parameters, the assignments inside, not the parameters, the assignments of the parameters inside of the constructor call, and we need to figure out why the multi-file changes is not working. So we need to look into that a little bit better, a little bit more. Okay, Amanda, are you still with us?
I am still with you. I have.
The rabbit hole is pretty deep.
It's given me the hiccups, the rabbit hole.
It has, okay.
Either that or I've been drinking during the entire webinar. All right, so we have a whole lineup of webinars posted for the months of June and July. Check them out and register at devexpress.com/webinars. Coming up this week, tomorrow, Mark and Rory will be back at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with a CodeRush feature workshop. Favorite views part 2. Is that still the plan?
That is still the plan. Holy cow! And yeah, that's going to be intense too as well. We've got I've also got to research the answers to those questions. So that's what's coming up tomorrow. That's about awesome. 10 hours or 22 hours from now. So.
Also tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Not kidding, 6 a.m. It's been a small schedule change. There you go. Introducing the DX Gauge suite for WPF and Silverlight with charting evangelist Brian Wood. Sorry, I can't get over these hiccups. All right, so that's at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and then at noon tomorrow is the CodeRush feature workshop. Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the third installment of our 7-part series on Windows Phone 7, a deeper dive into Silverlight on Windows Phone with Chris G. Williams. And finally, Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Ask the Express App Frameworks team with XAF evangelist Tolas Bekiaris. Again, if you missed anything from this webinar, you want to review any previous webinars or check out hundreds of online product tutorials, visit us on the DevExpress channel at tv.devexpress.com. All right. Anything else, Mark, or are you done?
I am just appreciative of all the pain that you've gone through in my name, Amanda, and I say thank you for that. Rory, thanks as always for your help. I really appreciate it.
No trouble, Mark.
You frequently save me as I'm like teetering over the edge of the cliff, so thanks for pulling me back. And so I'm off to do some research. I'm going to figure out what the missing pieces are to make this work, and we'll get that up to you. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for choosing DevExpress.